Alright, Photoshop folks, we are going to be doing the page setup for our Lego movie poster project. I'm using our page from Canvas right now. And you will find the text template here that you can download. It's called basiccreditblock.psd. I've already downloaded it and I've already opened it up in Photoshop. It looks like this. This is kind of probably the easiest way to start this project is to take this and then drag these credits into your document here in just a minute. And then you can update it to be what you want. These parts that say like music by, presents a film by, edited by, those are actually from lowercase letters. So if I have my horizontal type tool on and I type a lowercase a, it's written by, for instance. And you have to decide which ones you want. So like, you get to make these up, of course. So if there's some of these you don't want to include, then get rid of them. And then if you have something you want to put in its place, then you're going to add something else in. So this is the character map here. So click on this and you can go choose what letters you need for the different things. But here they are. So A is written by, B is casting by. You have all these different ones. And then when we get into special characters, like there's that presents or presents A, all of these are in here. So this is where you will find the information you need to do this bottom part. And I'm not going to worry about that part. You can figure that out on your own. So you'll want to download that text template and then just verify that your computer has Steel Tongs font. If it has it, then you have nothing to worry about. And mine does because I opened it up and it worked. But if for some reason it's not on yours, here is just the direct download. Like you can click on it and it's the TrueType font file. Just save it, double click it, and install it. And that's all you need to do. All right, now you have to set up your actual document. And the setup instructions are right here. So I'm going to go through these just to make sure that we are all on the same page. We're going to set up the document in Photoshop to be a tall document. So it will be 8.5 inches by 14 inches with 150 resolution. Probably be best for you to just pause and follow along with me here so you make sure you set it up properly. So make sure you have your credit block downloaded. And then File New. And then we're going to put inches. Be sure to switch it to inches first. And it's going to be 8.5 inches wide and 14 high with a 150 resolution. As far as the background color goes right now, it doesn't really matter. If you want to choose a color, you can. You're probably more than likely going to switch it. What I would say not to do, though, is black, because we're going to add a black gradient over the top, and I would like for you to be able to see. So I'll just put white for mine for now, knowing that I'll probably pull in something for my background. So hit Create. There it is. Now, before I bring in my text from here, I'm going to go ahead and create the gradient that's going to go on the bottom. So you're going to want to make a new layer first, because you're not going to do it on this background layer. And then on this new layer, I'm going to name it Gradient. You're going to come over here, find your paint bucket, or press the G to find the gradient tool, which sometimes is under the paint bucket or vice versa. And then what we're going to do is we want a linear gradient. It's going to go from one to the other. We do want it to have transparency, so we're going to make sure it has that, and then click on this. And the one that you're looking for is going to be the second one. Not this one, because this is foreground to background. That's where these colors are coming from. But the second one, which is foreground to transparent, and we want it to be foreground to transparent. So here, if you know your movie poster is going to have like brighter colors, or like there's grass at the bottom, you know, you might choose green here or whatever. Let's say that mine's going to be dark, so I'm going to click on this bottom square, which turns this blue, and then I'm going to switch this all the way down to the corner to black, which is all zeros. I'm going to hit OK. So now it's black. See, there's a little black square there. And then this side is a checkerboard, which means that it's clear. So now I can hit OK, and then I'm just going to drag up from the bottom up a little bit. You have to decide how much, but it's going to be transparent above there. So I go up, see, like it does that much there. And obviously I'm going to need more than that. So just, you know, Control-Alt-Z to undo, and then decide how far up you need to pull it. And it might, you know, you might need quite a bit. It just depends on yours. I wonder if this button will change anything. Oh, yeah, this would make it go all the way up. We don't want to do that. Okay, so we're going to click. I'm going to go about halfway, I guess. Again, if you need it to be more, feel free to use more. You can drag all the way up if you wanted to, if you need a whole bunch. If you hold shift, by the way, you can keep your lines straight. All right, and so it just really depends on your document, but you don't want to cover up like your whole document with this either. But again, you can put stuff kind of in front of it, but your main background is going to have to go behind here. You may end up moving this gradient later on, so my best advice would be to keep it kind of easy. Okay. All right, so I've got my gradient going on here at the bottom. I'm going to go halfway, holding shift. All right, so there we go. There's that one. Now, once you've got your gradient in there, you're going to pull in your credit block. So the easiest way is to undock this so you can see it. Take your move tool, point to it, click and drag, and let go. Now, bear in mind it's white, so you may not be able to see it right away. So here it is. I'm just going to take my move tool and get it down here. And there we go. Okay. So you can see immediately it's going to be a little bit too big. So just click on your type tool and don't select anything and just drag to the left a little bit. There we go, until you get a size that's readable, but that fits. And it might be useful to set this on center. Some movie posters are centered and some aren't. Let me take my move tool and scoot this over to the center point, and then back to my type tool so I can get it about as much as it fits. So if you want to cheat, 23 looks to be pretty good. I wonder if 25 works. I like round numbers a little bit better. Oh, no, 25 is going to make it fall off the side of the page. So it looks like 23 is good for me. So it should be good for you too. So anyway, there we go. And now we can actually see what's going on down here at the bottom. In the event that you do need more like black behind here, remember you can always draw a rectangle using your rectangle tool. Just be sure that it's set to fill in with the color that you want. So say I want black. I don't need a stroke on there. And then I could draw a rectangle back here, you know, like so, and then put it behind the gradient if you needed to do that. But see, you're going to lose that cool fuzzy edge that we have, so I wouldn't really recommend doing that. But if you had a problem where you couldn't see it at all, you could. And if you're using a darker background, if I was going to put something that's pretty dark back here anyway, I might could get away with doing something like that. You can also go in here and add additional gradient stops. So let me add another one. We'll do this one more time. So I'm going to create another gradient. This time, I'm going to click on here. And this time, I'm going to add another stop. So like through here, I'm going to add another black stop. So it's going to stay black longer than what it was before. Now, up here, if I add a stop, see how it keeps it black for longer? That's going to give you that black for a longer period of time. So that's probably going to work better for you. I'm going to hold down Shift now and try it. See, now we get this. So this is probably a little bit more useful. And then again, you're going to have something behind all of this anyway. So yours may not need to be black. Yours may be a different color depending on your movie poster. So just use your own judgment on that. Also, you might have a movie poster that's going to have a gradient coming from the top. You know, so if you're adding words at the top, you might want to add a gradient coming from the top. You can take that same gradient or you can adjust it. You can still change this top box to where it's more see-through so it's not quite so solid. See how now it changes a little bit differently? So you've got all kinds of options here. And again, if you just pull in a little bit, then you get different, you know, looks. Or again, back to the original one, which is this one, and then change it to the black, and then just go with the really subtle. Oops, wrong direction. Subtle. That wasn't so subtle, huh? There you go. That you can go there. So again, it's just really going to depend on your movie poster. So your main goal here is to get the main part set up. Then, of course, get whatever's going to go in the very background of your image. So let's say that I have a image that's going to go in the background, and all my image needs to be is just a, you know, a blurry something. Now, I've just got some really random stuff here, so I'm just going to pull anything in here. I'll just use this sloth. But let's pretend that I needed this in the background, and I'm going to make it big, and it's not going to matter because I'm going to blur this, but all right, so let's say I have this. It's going in the background back here. It's really great. I'm going to move it back behind everything else that's going on. See how you can see how we get that gradual above and below kind of thing. Just remember, if your very far background image needs any color adjustments, you can add them straight in here. And I would do all that stuff before you start adding everything else, So if I needed to make this black and white, because that's what mine called for, do that and clipping mask it, and get that in there now. Or if there's other things you need to do to it, like make it blurry. So you could do a blur filter. That's going to be under filter though. And before you do that, you're going to want to make this smart. So convert it to a smart object, and then you can do some sort of blur. I do the ones with dots next to them. Let's say there's like a motion blur here. You can have like that kind of thing going on in the background. And now I can turn it on and off. So if you are going to be adding any filters, if you need something to look artistic or pixely or, something like that, make it a smart layer first. And then you can add that blur or whatever in the background. So you can see here, I haven't really done anything, but it kind of looks cool. There's a starting point here. So that works out pretty nicely. So last thing here, one more thing. When we're talking about the this bottom part, it is a good idea if you're going to use black or whatever color you're going to use to go ahead and preset the color here. So just reset it with the baby squares. If black's on top, if you want black. And that way, whenever you draw this, you don't have to really make any changes at all in color. Just remember, you do need to make a layer for it. And then, of course, you can drag up holding shift to create whatever it is that you're wanting. You can just keep on going until you get it like you want. There we go. All right, so that gets us started on our Lego movie poster. We've got that font installed. We've got our beginning text drug in. You want to get your gradient or your fade in there because that's required. You have to have that in there somewhere. And then you need to spend the rest of this period editing what you're going to say down here. So, what pictures, I would say just use your name, or like I'd say Skin Dog Pictures presents a, and then, whatever my producer company is going to be, a film by, and then maybe some favorite script writer of mine. Here's the name of one actor. Here would be the name of another actor. Here's where you would put your movie title in quotation marks. Music by The Weeknd or whatever. Just go ahead and put in all of your information so that that's all ready. Give it a save, and then you've got a good starting point. At this point, then you would be ready to make a folder and start saving all of this into it, and then any of your little Lego items, background items that you're going to add in, and so forth. Good luck.